Well, Jessica Fletcher is back at the typewriter. Murder, She Wrote on BBC One in half an hour.
You haven't forgotten the social at the golf pub tonight?
Oh, could I? You talked about nothing else for 3 weeks.
I know what you're worried about, but you won't be expected to dance, Ella. All you have to do is get dressed up. I'll drive us both there. Then you can enjoy the music, have a nice meal, good company. It's been 6 months, and it's time you started to get out again.
Is there any point in my arguing? I don't feel much like getting out at the moment.
No, none whatsoever. Do you remember what you said to me 6 months after my James died? You said that if necessary, you would drag me out of my grief and back into the world.
That was different. When James died, you were prepared for it, but with David,
I know, Ella. I also know that David would hate to see you like this. He'd be on the phone to that hospital every day until they fixed a date for your operation. And he wouldn't let the doctors fob you off with tablets that clearly aren't doing you any good whatsoever.
Well, I've got an appointment with the nurse this morning.
That's no good. You need to see the doctor.
There wasn't a doctor available, and I really couldn't wait.
Would you like me to come with you?
I'm not a child, Celia. Sorry, I didn't mean to snap, but I'd rather go by myself.
Come on, let's sit down. Your day for the hairdresser, isn't it? Oh, that'll make you feel better.
Gonna be a bit dull without George, innit?
Yeah, but it was getting a bit exhausting, never knowing what mood she was going to be in.
Yeah, maybe. But after the weekend I've had, a bit of excitement at work would be great. What do you think George's replacement will be like?
Well, it's quite short notice, so Julia can't be too fussy.
Too fussy about what?
Julia, Mac, when did you get back?
Last night, extremely late.
Oh, did you have a good holiday?
Yeah, fantastic. Did a bit more travelling than last time. Liam rented us a camper van for a few days.
You know, it doesn't take long to get away from it all either. I mean, a couple of hours out of the city and you're in the wilderness.
Trips to Canada should be available on prescription. I've never felt so relaxed. Hey, how was the holiday? Oh, I was just saying, Canada's a fantastic country. You ever been?
No, I haven't. Mac, can I have a word with you later?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Afternoon?
Fine, thanks.
Okay.
Is everything all right with Jimmy?
Dunno, you have to ask him that.
Anyway, the more important news is that George is now on maternity leave.
At last.
That was a bit sudden. Is she all right? I mean, is it the baby?
It's nothing like that. She just thought it was the right time.
I think we all did.
Yes, well, that means that I'm going to have to find a locum, and very quickly. You know, I can feel my muscles tensing up again already.
Welcome back, darling.
Look, I've been meaning to show you this.
Painting classes?
In Provence. Oh, you loved painting when you were younger. Look, you have professional tuition during the day from an artist, and then in the evenings have fabulous meals in local restaurants.
£500?
Yes, I know it's a bit expensive, but, well, I think we deserve it. What else are we going to do with our money?
Well, I couldn't possibly go. And I don't want to put Oz into kennels. I mean, he's been very clingy since David died.
Really? I mean, I love my dog too, but I really think you're going a bit overboard with Oz. All you want to do is take him for walks. David wouldn't want you to live like this.
I do wish you would stop telling me what David would want. I'm perfectly happy staying at home with Oz. Come on.
Oh. Come on, then. Tell me, how are things with Jimmy and Amanda? They were hardly speaking at Helen's party.
I'm not sure. There's been so many other things to think about.
You know, I can honestly tell you that I did not think about this place once the whole time that we were in Canada.
Sounds wonderful.
Oh, it was. Apart from Mac falling down a mountain, of course.
What happened?
Well, it wasn't quite that dramatic. He was skiing, and he says that he hit this rock that was hidden underneath the snow. But if you ask me, I think he lost his balance, and he just won't admit it. You know what Mac's like.
Well, at least it's good he's back in one piece.
Well, only just. It was a nasty fall. Of course, he wouldn't let anyone take a look, including me.
You're not still going on about that bruise, are you?
Well, I've only got your word for it that it's just a bruise. You know, Mac, you're always the one that's telling me that doctors are notorious for not taking any notice of or misdiagnosing their own medical problems. Now, why won't you let Faith just check it out for you?
I'm happy to take a quick look.
No, it's completely unnecessary.
Well, I would feel a lot more comfortable if somebody else confirmed that.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
I am not embarrassed, Faith. There's a lot of fuss about a simple bruise.
Come on, please, Mac.
And then you'll stop going on about it.
Absolutely, I promise.
Do I have a choice?
Well, thank you, darling.
Be patient, Oz. You know you've got to let it cool down, or you'll burn your tongue. We've got to look after each other, you and I. You're the only one I can rely on. You'd never let me down, would you? And I won't let you down either.
I can smell that tea from here. Now, I don't want us to fall out over this, but I've got something else to show you. Now, before you dismiss this out of hand...
I'd really rather sit down first, Celia. Now, come on through.
So what are you going to do about the locum?
I'll phone the agency straight away.
That's not going to be a problem, is it?
Well, finding a locum isn't going to be a problem, no. But finding one that fits in with the rest of us, well...
Look, don't get yourself wound up about this, right?
Oh, listen to Mr. Relaxed.
Hey.
Here we go, Oz.
You indulge that dog.
Who else have I got?
What about you? If you don't care about yourself, I do. Here, have a look at this.
What's that?
If you absolutely refuse to go away, at least we can do something here at home. It's an evening class schedule. There are 7 different art classes, including life drawing.
Life drawing? Yeah, well, I'll look at it later.
We both know you won't.
You're nagging me again.
Are you all right?
Oh, I'm just a bit achy after the walk. It's nothing, really.
Of course it's not nothing. I can't believe the NHS keeping you waiting this long for a hip resurface, especially now that you're on your own. When you see that nurse, why don't you ask her about going private? I mean, you could be seen in a couple of days, and then they take very good care of you.
I don't want to go private. Now, can we talk about something else? Oh, let me move that out of your way, sweetie.
Did Mrs. Green leave that there? I wouldn't put up with it if I were you.
No, it was me. I forgot to put it away last night.
Well, what were you doing with it in the first place? It wasn't Mrs. Green supposed to come in today? There's no point paying a cleaner if you're going to do her job for her the night before.
I changed her day.
So what day does she come in now? Would you like me to talk to her?
Must you keep on interrogating me like this? I'm not a fool, you know. I can handle my own affairs and I can keep my own house clean.
I'm only trying to help, but I'm obviously upsetting you even more. I'll be on my way. See you later.
I do wish you wouldn't go off into a huff every time I try and stand up for myself, Celia.
And I wish you wouldn't snap at me every time I make a suggestion.
It's just this wretched hip, and it's making me a bit tetchy, that's all.
Yes, well, you know what I think about that, but I won't repeat myself.
I'll see you this evening, then.
Unless you change your mind, of course. Bye, Ella.
So, tell me about Canada.
Oh, Liam's got a wonderful life out there. He's really made something of himself. For the first time in my life, I'm actually proud of it. Faith, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking.
Mac, you don't have to worry about mentioning Liam's name all the time. He's your son. Of course you're going to talk about him.
Yeah, well, he was tactless nevertheless. I'm really sorry.
Look, you and Julia really deserve this holiday, and I'm pleased that it went so well. Apart from the...
Well,
OK, let's take a look.
right. Don't say anything, Faith. If I'd known I was taking my trousers down, I would have worn something more dignified.
Obviously.
OK, let me have it. Will I live?
Well, it is quite nasty, but I think you're right. It is just a bruise.
Ah, so all those years at medical school weren't completely wasted?
There's some broken skin around it. Have you put anything on it?
No.
I'll clean it up for you.
Oh! What are you doing?
It's just antiseptic.
Oh!
You're worse than most of the kids I see.
It hurts, Faith.
So, how have you been since we last saw you?
Oh, not bad. Same, really. It's always worse when it rains, but that's to be expected.
Well, I notice you're on the waiting list for a hip resurface.
Dr. Robinson seems to think that's the best thing, but I'd really rather stay with the tablets.
Well, I can understand that. Not everyone likes the idea of an operation. But I've seen how it can change people's lives, especially in someone as young as you.
I'm hardly young.
Oh, don't you believe it? You're full 21 when it's done. Now, we're taking your blood pressure today. I think Dr. Robinson just wanted to make sure that it's staying down for the operation.
If I have the operation. As I said, I'd really rather stick with the tablets.
I noticed that you missed your last appointment at St Phil's.
Yeah, something came up, and I just haven't got round to phoning them again yet.
Yeah, well, make sure you do it soon. If you've got any concerns, the consultant can answer them. It's still a little high. Are you in a lot of pain at the moment?
A little. But I walked my dog this morning. He has to have his exercise, you see, or he won't settle.
Ella, you shouldn't be overdoing things for the sake of your dog.
Why does nobody understand? I do what I want to do. And I'd be perfectly all right if only I had some more tablets. I've run out, you see.
Well, I can't prescribe them for you. Only the doctor can do that. Do you have a repeat prescription?
No, Dr. Robinson wanted to see me first, but I really don't want to bother him. I thought maybe you could ask him for me, you know, save wasting his time.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll see if he can squeeze you in. I'm sure he'd much rather see you before prescribing anything anyway. You'd like to just hold there a moment.
Man.
Greg, do you remember Ella Staines? She's got osteoarthritis and she's on the waiting list for a hip resurface.
Yeah, I do remember her, actually. Nice lady, bit nervous, though. Talked about her dog all the time.
That's the one. Anyway, she seems to be a bit apprehensive about the procedure and she missed her last appointment at St Phil's. And she's insisting that she wants to stay on the tablets.
How's her blood pressure?
It's a little high and she seems to be in a lot of pain. Although that could be because she's run out of the tablets.
Well, she shouldn't have. I gave her enough to last at least until next week. Is she here now?
Yeah.
OK, well, if you bring her in right away, I can fit her in before my next appointment.
Thank you.
Yes, I know, but I don't know whether I made it clear to you just how urgent this was. Right. Okay, well, I'll wait to hear from you then, shall I? Right. Yes, thanks, bye.
Any luck?
No, not yet. So how did it go with Faith?
I have a bruise and appalling taste in underwear.
You know, that's not funny, Mac. What are you wearing those for anyway?
They were the only clean ones I could find after our holiday, and I didn't know anyone was going to see them, did I?
Well, I'm very glad you're going to be all right.
Oh. Well, now you stop worrying, perhaps we could recapture some of that holiday wildness? I'll see you later. Ow. Ish.
Seems to be a lot worse than the last time I saw you.
As I said to your nurse, I'm sure it's the time of year. I've heard that arthritis is worse in the winter than in the summer.
Well, it can be. But the anti-inflammatories don't seem to be making as much difference as I'd hoped.
Oh, they are? It's just I run out, you see.
Well, you must be taking more than I prescribed if you've run out already.
No, I went and dropped some down the sink accidentally the other day. I'm so clumsy.
Right. Well, I'm going to prescribe you some more anti-inflammatories to last you a month, and some painkillers as well. But I want you to promise me that you'll rebook your appointment at St Phil's.
Oh, I will. But I may not need to once I've got the tablets. I'll be absolutely fine.
As I said earlier, these are just a temporary measure. Hopefully they'll help you to get by, but in the meantime, I want you to rest.
Apart from walking Oz, of course.
Isn't there anyone else you can get to walk him for you?
We wouldn't like that.
Well, you're not going to be much use to him if you can't walk at all.
We'll be fine with these. Thank you, Doctor. Hello, sweetheart. Just wait until you see what your mummy's got you. Some lovely fresh turkey for your lunch. Come on then. Come and get it ready. Don't be so impatient, Oz. If I cook it too quickly, it'll dry out. No flavour, no goodness. I've got to take care of you, make sure you eat properly. Daddy wouldn't want you pining for him. Just because he didn't care what happened to me. I know he always loved you. Now, we've got a busy afternoon ahead of us. Oh. I haven't used one of these for years. Still, it can't be too difficult. We can't have Celia saying I don't look after myself, can we? Oh, why does the phone have to go at the least convenient moment, Oz?
Ella, it's me, Celia. Oh, I hate these wretched machines. I know you're there, so I presume you're struggling down the stairs. Well, don't hurry on my account. I'm only calling to let you know that I'll be popping round in about 10 minutes.
Hairdryer, hairdryer. Where did I put it? Yes. Yes, here it is. Oh. Oh, David, why did you have to die? Ah!
Yeah, come in.
Hi, Max. It's a good time.
Yeah, come in. How are things?
Not good, I'm afraid. It's Amanda. She's ill.
Nothing too serious, I hope.
Breast cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She had the results back from the biopsy last week.
Who did you see?
Julian Carter, the Haley. Do you know him?
Yeah, good bloke. How's she taking it?
She won't discuss it. If I try and ask her anything, she gets defensive. Says I'm behaving more like a doctor than a husband.
Well, it must be very difficult for you both. You do know that we will lend any kind of support you need to get through this?
Yeah, well, the thing is, Amanda's made up her mind. She wants to be treated in California. She's had a specialist out there recommended to her.
Oh, and of course you will have to go with it. I understand that. Any idea how long you'll be away?
No, that's just it. Can't say. I mean, Amanda's determined to get all the treatment in the States, so, could be months. I don't think it's fit to keep you hanging on, so, sorry, Matt, I'm gonna have to hand in my notice.
Ella, are you all right? Ella, can you hear me?
Of course I can hear you. Now go away, please, just go away.
I'm not going away.
I want you to leave me alone. Going to let myself in.
What have you done?
What does it look like? Falling downstairs.
But look at you. What on earth were you doing to your hair?
Now, I want you to help me get up, and then I want you to leave me alone, please.
No. I can't move you. You may have broken something. I'm going to call for an ambulance.
No, don't. I'm not going to the hospital, and you can't make me.
But I'd be much happier if you...
Called an ambulance. Well, so would I, but she won't hear of it. Maybe you can persuade her.
I am not
Going to the hospital, you see what I mean?
Okay, well, just try and keep her calm. Make sure she doesn't move.
I'll be there straight away.
Oh, thank you so much. Ella? Ella! Ella, where are you? You shouldn't have moved. This is ridiculous. The nurse won't care what you look like.
Well, I care. You said you wanted to help, and this is helping.
Julia, I'm going out on a call. I'll be back soon.
Okay.
So, what happened?
She was washing her hair and she tripped over the hairdryer.
Speak for myself, thank you, Celia.
Celia, could I have a few moments alone with Ella?
I'll go put the kettle on.
Now, tell me if I'm hurting you. What, sweet dog?
This is Oz. Oz, this is Faith.
He must be a great comfort to you.
Oh, he is. We understand each other, you see. He has arthritis, too.
Oh, how do they treat that in dogs? I don't suppose they do hip replacements.
Tablets.
I'm sorry. I bet those tablets cost a fortune. Still, I suppose everyone has pet insurance nowadays.
I thought my husband had taken out insurance, but apparently not. Thought it wouldn't be a problem. When the vet told me the cost of Oz's medication, well, what was I supposed to do?
What did you do?
Nothing.
Ella, Dr. Robinson said that you got through your last prescription much too quickly. Were you sharing your tablets with Oz?
Well, what was I supposed to do? I couldn't afford the vet's bill. He said that Oz could be on the tablets for life. They sounded the same as the ones I was taking.
What on earth were you thinking of? Good heavens, you can't go around prescribing tablets for your dog. You're not a vet. You could have done Oz terrible harm. You could have poisoned him.
I was only giving him little bits when he was limping. It seemed to help. You know I'd never hurt him, but I was desperate.
Is that why you wanted to keep on the tablets rather than have the operation?
I had no choice. If I'd had the operation, then Dr. Robinson wouldn't have given me any more anti-inflammatories.
So you've been taking, what, half your medication for the past few weeks for your pain? Well, no wonder you're in such a bad way.
What do you mean? You couldn't afford the vet?
I want you to go now. I'm absolutely fine.
Ella, you need to stay as still as possible until we know exactly what it is you've done.
Now you're telling me what to do, treating me like a child, just like David.
Was David your husband?
He was in charge of the money in my marriage. It was the way my parents did it, and I accepted it. I never saw any bills or bank statements. I trusted him. Well, you're supposed to trust your husband, aren't you? And then when he died, I found out he'd been running into debt for years. Moving the debts from one credit card to another. Taking out loans. And he left me with nothing. Nothing.
Oh, that's terrible.
You can't imagine what it's like. Dreading the post every morning, knowing that every letter will be a bill. Not daring to answer the phone in case it's someone asking for money that isn't there.
Having to hide it from everyone. Making excuses every time your friends ask you for coffee. I can't imagine it, Ella.
But I could have dealt with all of that. If only he'd been honest. It was the fact that he didn't tell me that hurts. It makes my whole marriage a sham. All my memories are tainted by this betrayal.
Maybe he was just, I don't know, trying to protect you.
I didn't need protecting. I was his wife, not his child.
Or maybe he had his reasons, but he never got the chance to explain it to you.
He always thought he'd live to be 100. Silly, silly man.
Oh, Ella, why didn't you say something?
I was too embarrassed.
Well, you know, it looks like you may well have broken your hip. We'll have to get you into hospital for an X-ray.
Well, I can't do that. I can't leave Oz.
My dear friend, you are going into hospital, and I am going to take care of Oz. We can argue about it later.
Jimmy has handed in his notice.
Please tell me this is a joke.
Afraid not.
Well, what's happened?
Look, we'll talk about it tonight. I've got patients back to back all afternoon.
Well, first George and now Jimmy. I'm going to have to find another locum.
Afraid so.
Great.
The ambulance should be here soon.
You know, I know it sounds foolish, but when I discovered the dire straits David had left me in, I couldn't have gone on without Oz.
I remember when David bought him for you. Oh, must have been 12 years ago.
He always bought me wonderful presents, but Oz was the best.
He must have loved you very much.
Yes. Yes, I suppose he did.
If you try to hold on to that, you'll find it easier to forgive him. And then you'll be able to grieve for him properly.
You don't know how hard that's going to be.
Yes, I do.
I don't understand. I mean, how many years did you and I fundraise for the PDSA and the Blue Cross? They exist precisely to care for people who can't afford vet's bills.
I couldn't go there. I was too ashamed to admit that now I was the one that couldn't afford the vet's bills.
I do wish you'd told me what was happening.
Well, I wanted to, but But then you were going on about all the things we were going to do. I mean, Provence. I didn't know how to tell you I couldn't afford it. I thought you'd be so disappointed. That's why I was doing my own hair. I couldn't even afford the hairdresser.
And your own cleaning as well.
No wonder you were in so much pain. You can't carry on like this. You're going to need some help when you get back from hospital. I can arrange something for you if you like.
No, that won't be necessary. I can look after her. I can do everything. No, I'm not. I don't mean I'm going to offer you money. No, in my house, I ran the finances. No, as soon as you're up to it, we can sit down together and go through everything. Hmm? And then when you're on your feet, and well, until you're on your feet, I can put the hoover around and run a duster over the tabletops. Whatever life throws at us, we can go through it together. And don't worry about Provence. We can always choose a free watercolour painting holiday from that leaflet I showed you. No, I've heard that, you know, in art circles, Leatherbridge is the Provence of the West Midlands.
Oh, Celia.
Hello? Oh, thank goodness. Have you found me someone? What do you mean, someone I'd consider? Is it someone I know? No. It can't be, not after all this time. Well, yes, of course we're definitely interested. It'd be great to have a friendly face back again. Yeah. Well, would you get straight back to me the minute that you know for sure? That would be great. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Well, Jessica's back. It's Murder, She Wrote next on BBC1.